Hi, it's Lucy here, and today's video is all about a few paper storage and sorting ideas. I've recently organised part of my paper stash, and I thought these tips might help you too, so let's get into it. And I have these 3 magazine holders that I use to store all my solid colours like cardstock, and one is also for specialty papers like metallics, vellum and glitter cardstock. And the other 2 I use, one for cool colours and one for warm colours. And these are all stored in an IKEA storage cube accessible from my craft desk, as I use them often for die cutting sentiments and borders. I don't have to pull out the holder completely, I can tilt it and then easily grab the colour I need. And here's some of my specialty papers. I like to store each type in a clear plastic bag with an open top. Inside each one, I've added a smaller clear pouch to hold any offcuts or scraps. And that way I always check the scraps first before cutting into a full sheet. I do have more cardstock stored in my cupboard also, but I'll only reach for that if I can't find what I need in these magazine holders. Next up, I went through some old pattern papers and pulled out a few that had a textured look like bricks and wood grain, and I grouped all those together into one section as well. The rest, especially the more subtle patterns, I've actually decided to treat like coloured cardstock. I've popped them into the clear colour-coded packaging with the coordinating cardstock. And the same setup here, I added a smaller bag at the front to hold the scraps, which makes it super easy to reach for the little bits first. I've had this set up for a while now and it really works for me. It's quick to add the scraps in as well and everything stays neat. Some of the pattern papers also got added to my black cardstock folder, even these transparent pieces with black print on them, as they could be used instead of black cardstock. They were a 12 by 12 sheet and I just sliced them in half so that they fit my bag properly. I've also added some of the brown pattern papers to the brown cardstock bag because the tones were perfect for layering. I sorted each colour set and now I've got some subtle patterns mixed in, so I'll have more interesting background options than just solid colours when I go to find a certain colour. And if I had any odd shapes left, I just trim them down with my paper trimmer so they're ready to go when I need them and they don't get caught up with the other sheets in the bags. I'm not cutting them in perfect rectangles or anything, as I'll most likely use them for die cutting, so it won't matter. Now, I did come across a lot of papers that I just don't love anymore, but rather than toss them, I kept the thicker ones to use as backing for embellishments or layers, kind of like a free alternative to foam tape. And then as for the thinner papers, I also found a couple of old 12 by 12 pattern paper books that I bought ages ago. They were so expensive back then, but the designs just don't really suit my style now. The papers are thin and single-sided, and you could still use them as backgrounds, maybe with a bit of paint or mixed media on top if you wanted. But I have a mountain of pretty papers still, so I took the whole pads apart and I thought I'd test them to see whether they would go through my heavy-duty trimmer, the whole stack, and it did work. I'll link it below if you're after a good guillotine trimmer. I cut them in half, which made them roughly 6 by 12 strips, and some of those I trimmed in half again so that I had 6 by 6 squares. Then I just stapled them in the corner to make a quick little notepad. I like to jot down to-do lists each day and I change it often. So this is a fun and eco-friendly way to repurpose paper and I don't feel guilty about it. The longer strips make great matte protectors when I'm inking. Another way to reuse paper and cut down on waste, and then I just throw them out on that same day. I won't keep it for the next time. Some of the pattern paper packs had alpha stickers or printed sentiments, so I pulled all those out and added them to my drawer of ready-to-use sentiments. They'll definitely come in handy, and I wonder if you'll see them on upcoming cards in my videos. And finally, I found a few papers where I'd already cut bits out, but there were still some lovely elements left, like this one with glittery butterflies. It's probably over 10 years old and maybe even closer to 20, but I couldn't let those butterflies go to waste, so I fussy cut them out, and I absolutely love how the 2 cards turned out. I'll pop a little sneak peek at the end of this video and I'll share a quick tutorial on how I made them in the next one. I love fussy cutting, but mostly because I'm using the best fussy cutting scissors I've ever owned. They have super sharp tips that let you get right into those tiny spaces, and the symmetrical handles make them really comfortable to use even if you're left-handed. And I've even been able to keep the antennas on these little butterflies. And then next I'll do my next favorite thing, which is bending the little butterfly wings around to give them a little bit more dimension, and they just look so cute, don't they? I can't wait to share the cards I've created with them. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss out on the butterfly card video coming up. I'd also love to know if any of this helped you. And I've popped a few handy links in the description box if you need them too. And you can click on this thumbnail if you need to organise your washi and PET tapes. So that's it from me today. Happy crafting and bye for now.